The reason I like backing so much, backing is the ultimate form of respect, okay? When a horse will back away from you with cadence in his feet on command, it's like the ultimate, I give in to you, you're the boss. How you doing, Anselm? This is one of the Brumbies that we got in during the muster as well, correct?
Yep.
Any problems at all so far that you're not real happy with?
Yeah, there is a problem actually. He won't stand still when I'm trying to get on.
Okay, good. Well, we'll work on that. Bend his nose some. Hold it, wait.
Clinton told me that the horses don't learn from the pressure, they learn from the release of the pressure.
So this next exercise, mate, I want to show you is what we call circle driving, okay? So what I want to do here is I want to have my belly button facing forward. And I want him to stay parallel with my shoulder. My right shoulder and his left shoulder should be in line with each other.
These trees around us here are witchetty bushes, so this one with the flat waxy leaf, and it harbours a grub in its root. So I love these things, they're beautiful. They're a real delicacy. If you don't look at the guts, it's much better off.
Downunder Horsemanship's Australian Outback Adventure is brought to you by Ritchie Industries. Fresh water for life.
I'm Clinton Anderson, and I have a method for training horses. Getting horses to behave is simple. It's training people that's the real trick. Join me as I tackle some of the most challenging situations with problem horses and with problem owners.
So this next exercise, mate, I want to show you is what we call circle driving, okay? This exercise is a great exercise to teach your horse to come up off that halter and start to get them some roundness through their body during the circle. I love a horse to circle around me, whether they're on the ground or under saddle, and keep the same arc to their body that they have in the circle. Nothing irritates me more than a horse going around a circle and their nose is tipped to the outside, they're dropping their shoulder in and they're being all stiff. I want them to circle around with the same arc as what the circle's got through their body, okay? So this exercise teaches the horse two things. It keeps them outside of your personal hula hoop space, and it also teaches them to come forward and around you. And it gets them off that halter pressure, okay? So to begin with, it's just a little bit easier if you take your string off your stick, and I'm gonna put it around the horse's neck. Okay? Now everything that I'm showing you right now we go into a lot of detail on the fundamental series. Okay, the fundamental series has all the groundwork exercises and riding exercises I've shown you up to this point. Okay, it goes for 26 hours, so it's extremely detailed. It's got the arena mates and the DVDs to help you. Rightio. So, it's a little bit similar to lunging, but a little bit different too. So I'm gonna point, forward, point. See that pressure there? That's better. See how he came off that? I want him to get better about coming off that pressure. See how he's backing up here? Just keep following him, tap him, keep applying pressure. This is not the right answer. Horses learn from the release there, release the pressure. So he was backing up then, so he was a little confused. He wasn't sure whether he's supposed to back up or come forward. But if I would have released that pressure when he was backing up, I would have taught him to do that. Okay, so what I want to do here is I want to have my belly button facing forward, and I want him to stay parallel with my shoulder. My right shoulder and his left shoulder should be in line with each other, and I'm going to walk forward and around. Now I'm just kind of resting this stick right on his withers, just in front of his withers here, and that's kind of like my gauge of where I want him to be. Now if it gets more than 3 inches of the stick over the other side of his neck, that means he's getting too close, so I'll just tap him on the side of the neck. If I can't reach him with the stick, obviously he's too far away from me. So my goal is just to get him coming forward and around. But it's very, very important not to have your belly button facing the horse. Act like your belly button's like a loaded gun. Wherever you point it, something's gonna die. So keep it pointed forward. When you face your belly button towards the horse, it'll end up driving them further away from you. I'm not trying to drive him away from me, I'm trying to drive him forward. So now when I change directions, I'm gonna turn and step towards his tail. And then he immediately gives me 2 eyes. Now the fact that he stepped into my hula hoop then is not necessarily a real bad thing, but I'm gonna say, hey, I appreciate the effort, but stay out there, please. So, there's several steps to changing direction. Step 1, take your stick under the rope. Step 2, look up in front of yourself. Step 3, take 3 steps. Step 4, point. Step 5, tap. And if necessary, whack, if I don't come off it. Now, if the horse doesn't come forward, just reach back with your stick and tap him behind the saddle if you've got a saddle on. Or if there's no saddle on, you'll just tap him anywhere behind the string on his neck, the drive line. Now he's starting to connect. He's starting to connect that halter to his feet. That's one of the biggest issues we've been working on, is when he feels that halter pressure, he's got to come off it immediately.
Tired of dumping and scrubbing dirty buckets and tanks? Dread breaking ice this winter? Sick of wasting precious water and even more precious time? Then it's time to change the way you water. The industry leaders in horse products and watering have teamed up to bring you a fresh idea on watering. Introducing Classic Equine by Ritchie. Fresh water on demand is critical to horse health. Automatic waterers ensure it stays cleaner, so your horses drink more and you waste less. So kick the bucket and the tank when you choose from options such as multi-head heated and insulated pasture units to premium corner-mounted stall founds. And only Classic Equine by Ritchie offers a garden hose hookup unit for easy installation. Classic Equine by Ritchie makes automatic watering the only way to go for the ease of horse owners and the health of the horse.
So I'm gonna yield, point, there, I like that. He came off it immediately. This is kind of what I'm starting to look for right now. See how I'm getting some slack in the rope? I'm looking to get some slack in this rope and some bend through his body, okay? If a horse is lazy yielding, go ahead and whack it just like that, okay? I don't want him to do a screaming U-turn. I want him to actually pivot, point, come off that halter pressure, there you go. Okay, I want him to actually pivot on the front legs when I disengage him. I'm gonna turn, yield. He's getting a little bit slow with his hindquarters there, so I might have to reprimand him here soon and tell him to quicken that up. You can do this with your yearlings, okay? It's a low energy exercise, it's really good for them. Turn, yield, better yield, point. That's the boy. This is really good for horses that are always trying to get away from you too, pull against you. Because what it really does is encourage them to come off that pressure of the halter. So 10 days ago, he was a wild Brumby running around in the middle of the bush, in the middle of the country, middle of Australia. And now 10 days later, what a difference. So he's starting to really come together here. Yield again. See, I want to get it to where I can keep my feet still and he'll move his feet when I ask him. Yield. See, I'm trying to get him to a point where as soon as he feels that halter pressure, he just immediately responds, come on, by coming off it. Yield. Yield. That's better. He's getting there. Again, I'm trying to keep my, come on, move those feet. I don't want any laziness out of those feet. When you can keep your feet still, that's better. And now do all the moving. You're starting to get some really good control of them. That's what I'm looking for there. He was a little lazy on that, coming from left to right. Good boy. So now I'm gonna yield, bring him on up to me. Good boy. That's excellent, good boy. Now I've done a lot of moving his feet around. Very important that I come back and desensitize him again, remember? See how he wants to move now? That happens. They go from one extreme to the other. So I've got to come back now and say, hey, listen, every time I move, it doesn't mean you have to move. Doesn't mean you have to move. So it's very, very important. He's not trying to be bad right now. He's just unsure what he's supposed to do. So I just keep following him. There we go. And he knows the rope's not gonna hurt him, but he's still a little bit confused. Good boy, he's licking his lips. He's still a little bit confused to when he's supposed to move compared to when he's supposed to stand still and relax. Okay, so when he gets a little confused, just keep working with him. As he gets used to my body language, active body language and passive body language, that'll just get better and better. But I can't stress the importance enough. Always come back after each exercise and work on a little desensitizing. With your rope, your stick and string, if you're working with a plastic bag, whatever it is that your horse is frightened of, make sure that you come back and tell him he doesn't always have to move. Good boy. That's excellent. Another little thing I like to get in the habit of doing, after every exercise, go back and flex him 5 or 6 times, at least on each side. Constantly reinforcing, okay? Constantly reinforcing, get soft, get light. Horses learn through repetition. So the more repetition we can give him, the lighter he's gonna get. Good boy. Bring that 4 quarters across. That's a boy. I don't want him just kind of snapping that head back like he does. I want him to take it back kind of slow. There. Much better. Good boy. Excellent. Good boy, Bundy.
Anything worth having is worth working for, that's for sure. Not gonna make it here if you got any quit in you.
This is where I needed to be the best that I could be. And that's just what we do here.
Dedication, ambition, passion. To some, these are more than ideals. They are a lifestyle, a code, a path to something greater. If you think you're one of the select few who can rise to the challenge, who can dedicate themselves to mastering the method through 70 weeks of in-depth, hands-on training, let the Clinton Anderson Academy catapult your skills and provide you with the ultimate experience. If you have what it takes, become a Clinton Anderson certified clinician and change your life.
Downunder Horsemanship's Australian Outback Adventure is brought to you by Ritchie Industries. Fresh water for life.
Man has survived here for 30 to 40,000 years through probably the main strategy he's used is being nomadic. Australians use the word tucker for food. When we're in the bush, and particularly the Aboriginal people, they call the native food that they collect from their environment bush tucker. So Clinton, we're out in this desert environment and look around, it looks pretty barren. At least for the horses, you know, you can see some grass on the ground, you can understand that, that they've got something to eat. But, you know, the Aboriginal people have been living out in these areas for 35, 40,000 years. And you know, they've been surviving very well in these environments. They're a nomadic people, so they tend to shift where the food source is. At the moment, we're in a bit of a drought in this area, so quite likely they would have left this area and followed the food somewhere else. So where there's been some recent rain or seed that's come out or a tree that's fruited. But even here where it is pretty dry, we can still see some food sources. We've come over here because these trees around us here are witchetty bushes. So this one with the flat waxy leaf, and it harbours a grub in its root. So I've had a bit of a dig around under the tree here and found some witchetty grubs. And
who eats these?
Well, the Aboriginal people eat them, but if we were stuck out in this area for a week or so, we could survive off this. The witchetty grubs get really high protein. So it'd normally be women's work digging, collecting food during the day while the men are out hunting for the bigger game like kangaroos and wallabies.
Okay.
But so the women would go out with a wooden bowl and a digging stick and come home with the majority of the food for the family. And one of those foods is this witchetty grub. So you can have a dig around at these roots and dislodge a couple of them. And where there's a bit of a bulge and a bit of a break in the root, we break that open. Then we can see that there's a grub inside. And there's the witchetty grub there. So at the moment it's in its grub form. It'll go into a chrysalis and then it'll hatch as a moth. So come out of the ground and fly away, but then come back to this bush again and get back into the grub form in the ground. So if an Aboriginal collected that during the day, they might just eat it straight up, straight in his mouth, or they might just put him on the fire, roll him on some light ashes and then just eat him straight up. And it's a bit of a delicacy for Aboriginal people.
Oh, I could definitely see why.
Yeah, you can see there's a big hole there where a big grub's been. Imagine your luck in finding something that size and being able to just
I could hardly imagine.
Pop that in your mouth and have a good chew on it.
I feel jealous just watching you.
Oh, well, we've got another one here, so you're not going to miss out. So they got sort of a, rich coconut sort of a flavour.
That's exactly what I was thinking, coconut. Yeah.
So what they would do is just use a nice soft stick, break some of that bark back and just coax a little fella out of here. So we just try to drag him out without hurting him.
Well, it's important not to hurt him before you eat him. Holy.
So there, that's a nice mouthful. And if you're going to spend the energy digging a hole like that to get the grubs out, then you want a few decent handfuls like that to be able to get the energy back in your body again. It's very rich in protein, that grub, with carbohydrate as well. So I love these things, they're beautiful. They're a real delicacy. If you don't look at the guts, it's much better off.
I think I just threw up in my own mouth. Rightio, okay.
That's it for the witchetty grub.
Wow, I gotta tell you, I'm just full as could be. Okay, where next?
Okay, so we've got a grass here, and there's many grass species in the desert. This one's a native to the desert, and it's called, well, the European names for it is lemongrass. The Aboriginal people, depending on where they're from, will call it something different. And the grasses are important because they all seed, okay? So those seeds will be collected just at the right time, and that's a really important carbohydrate source.
What is the main source of carrying seeds through the outback in Australia?
There is a lot of wind out here, so some of the seeds will have something like a little windmill on it, curly windmill, so that the willies or the dust devils pick them up and take them away and pass that seed around. Some of them have got a hook that will go into the animal's fur, and then others have got something attractive like a little sweet bud on it that the ants will pick up and they'll take back to their nest, and that helps to spread the seed out as well. Okay. But this particular one, lemongrass, if you just smell that, it's got a real lemony taste to it.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
There's flavour to it, and you can imagine that it tastes lemony as well. So they might soak that in water. They never had any sort of method of heating water, but they might soak that in a bowl of water for a couple of hours and then drink that, and that'd have some medicinal value, but also as just a nice flavour to add to the water, particularly if the water was perhaps a little bit off. Okay, I've picked up two different species of grevillea here that are just growing out in the back in this area, and grevillea is a native to this area, and that's just a little sweet treat. So the flower has got a real sugary sort of taste. It's not the sort of thing that the Aboriginal people would collect in large numbers and take back to their camp. At certain times of the year, there's more nectar in than others, and what they might do is just flick the nectar out of those little pods into my hand, just make it a little bit easier to get that nectar out. So that's that Australian native grevillea.
Okay.
Well, Clinton, you didn't seem to go for the raw witchetty grub, but we've got another way to eat them. So we're just going to lightly singe them on the fire, and we might entice you into one of those, eh?
Sounding appealing.
Okay, so another way to do these that you might go for a little more is just really lightly roast them on the fire. Just roll them around there. Give them a light roasting. We don't want to overdo them, otherwise they'll lose that nice coconut flavour. Okay, I reckon that one there is good to go. You want to give them a shot?
I'm not eating it.
Beautiful. And there's one well done, nice and crispy. You won't regret eating that witchetty grub. It's beautiful. Just stick it in and...
Son of a bitch, it's hot. I don't know if I...
Put him down. Yeah, he's beautiful. He's really nice.
Oh,
you won't regret it. You'll come back for more. We'll be digging more trees for another one.
I'm not eating it. Well, I didn't know that there was so much food out here, mate. You know, not necessarily my palate, but definitely if I was trying to survive out here, it might look a little bit different. But listen, let's get back to the horses, mate. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Pleasure.
We'll be right back with more from the Australian Outback, presented by Ritchie Industries.
Fresh water on demand is critical for your horse's health. Make sure it's always available when you install Ritchie Waters. We've got the model to suit your needs, whatever they may be. Get the most energy efficiency with the new Eco Fount series. Get the benefits of both steel and poly construction with the Omni Fount. Get the best combination of value and performance with the Watermatic. And for delivering water directly to your horse, there's our newly redesigned stall fount. Ritchie set the standard in quality when we invented the automatic waterer in 1921, and we've been the industry leader ever since. So when you buy a Ritchie, you know you're getting the most dependable product on the market, not to mention the best value, service, and warranty in the business. After all, water is essential. We make it easy.
So now's a good time to start working with Bundy's feet. I need to get him to where I can pick his feet up, if I needed to trim him, if I wanted to start putting boots on him. We haven't addressed anything to do with his legs very much at all, because usually with a wild horse, whether it's a Brumby or a Mustang, that's almost kind of the last thing I really worry about. I get all the other stuff done first, and then by the time you get back to the legs, it's relatively easy to get them over that. But if you try to start working with their legs right from the beginning when they're really worried about you, that's when they're going to start trying to get away from you and kick at you and all kinds of problems, okay? So step one, we've already been doing a lot of this as far as just moving the rope around him, around his legs, etc. I want to kind of continue with that now, and I'll put the rope around his leg here, and I'll just kind of seesaw it back and forth. Now, if he wants to back up here and get a little worried about it, I'll just follow him. So what I'm showing you here is all the steps that I would do, whether it's a baby foal, a weanling, yearling, any age horse, okay? If I can't touch the leg and have the horse get comfortable with me just touching the leg, I'm never gonna be able to pick the leg up. So step one is just get this horse comfortable with this rope up and down. The reason I use a rope in the beginning so I don't have to kneel down there and get in a vulnerable position if he'd go to strike me or kick at me, okay? So I do that on all four legs, okay? Now, I haven't really handled his back legs that much. I haven't handled them at all, other than just this here. So with these back legs, you know, you have to be a little careful there. So what I'll do is, I just run that through his tail there, between his hind legs, and I just drag it up here with my foot. Rightio. I'm gonna keep his head bent. I'll just turn him so the camera can see. Right. Now what I want to do is I just want to get him used to having something on his back leg here. Now if he would go to kick at this, I'd just keep his nose tipped towards me, okay? And I'd just keep moving the rope back and forth until he stood there and relaxed, okay? So I want to do it up high here. I want to let it drop below his hock, down his cannon bone, around his fetlock. I'm not pulling on him, I'm just seesawing. I'm just getting him used to having something touch him. But the whole time, you notice that I've got his head bent towards me the whole time. Okay, by having his nose tipped towards me, if he would go to kick at me, his hindquarters will go away. Now I want to just get him used to a little bit of pressure here on this. So I'm going to pick up, hold it, wait. Just hold this here. He's kind of struggling a little bit. I'm just going to hold it. As soon as I feel him relax, I'm going to drop it. Wait. Right there. So as soon as he quit struggling and just relaxed it, I immediately dropped it. Pick it up again. Hold it. Just wait. Wait. There. As soon as I felt him relax, retreat. To release the pressure that teaches it. Hold it. As soon as he relaxes, drop it. So that's my next step, is just get him comfortable with that. Okay? So now, once he's pretty good with the rope, then I can go ahead, okay? Then I can go ahead and actually start to use my hands a little bit more. Stay up here at a 45-degree angle, okay? So if he went to kick you, you're too far forward. Or if you went to strike you, you're too far to the side. And just get him real comfortable. So over the next couple of days, I'm just gonna get him really good. I see how I'm staying up here high, and then I approach down low, and then I retreat back up high. Usually the lower you go on their legs, the more worried they get. So start up here high, work your way down. If he started to move or get nervous, just keep his head tipped towards you and keep rubbing with one hand. And as soon as he would stand still and relax, retreat back up to here. Okay, so now when I do his back legs, I always have the rope on the outside of me like this, and I keep the horse's head bent a lot, okay? And I just use one hand to begin with, and I kind of turn my back to him, so if I went to kick me, I don't want to be facing in like this, where if he cow kick me in the face. I suppose what I'm trying to say is I'd almost rather get kicked in the ass and get kicked in the face, okay? So there's no other way of really saying it. So just kind of get your back to the horse like this and kind of keep your face back a little bit, as much as you can within reason. So when the foot's back like this, maybe just pull it forward if you can, so you don't having to lean forward so much. I'm not really trying to get him to pick it up, just pull it forward there. That's where, if you get him really good, like he's not quite ready for it just yet. If you get him really good at this part, and he's not good at it yet, I'm just pulling that foot up. See how he's struggling here? Just hold it. Just hold it. Hold it. Hold it. There, as soon as he relaxed, retreat. Get this really good to where he's comfortable lifting it off the ground. Hold it, wait. He's struggling, wait. As soon as he relaxes, retreat. Pick up again. Hold it. Hold it. As soon as he relaxes, retreat. And then do it on different parts of his leg as well, not just below his fetlock. Then retreat. If you get this part a little better than what I did, they won't really fight too much when you go to pull their foot forward. Wait, there, retreat. Pick up, wait, retreat. If I feel him relax, immediately retreat. Okay, then I'll go back to rubbing it again. Okay, remember, keep their head bent towards you. That's a boy. So I'm just gonna spend the next couple of days getting Bundy really comfortable with both my hands and the rope rubbing all over his legs, okay? Pulling his back leg forward. If he kicks, just kind of hold it there. As soon as he relaxes his leg, retreat. See, that's the opposite of what most people do. Most people, when they, especially on a back leg, when they pick up a foot and the horse struggles, they hold onto it. And then as soon as the horse relaxes, then they want to get under the leg more, or they want to trim it more or rasp it. Do the opposite. The horse is struggling because he wants you to drop his foot. Well, teach him the only way you'll drop his foot is if he relaxes. So if he struggles, as soon as he relaxes, you let go of the foot. You only have to do that a few times, and the horse says, you know what? The quickest way to get him to let go of my foot is not to kick and struggle, it's to relax. So keep that in mind. Preparation is the key to getting your horse to stand still with his legs.
Clinton Anderson, world-renowned horseman, has designed one of today's most unique handcrafted saddles. Combining time-worn traditions with the latest innovations in saddle making, Clinton and Martin Saddlery have created the ultimate Aussie saddle, hand-tooled, double-stitched out of premium leather. It's tree handcrafted from Dakota pine. The perfectly engineered fiberglass seat guarantees a natural fit. Eliminates pressure points. This is a saddle built with real life in mind. It gives a rider unique balance, security, comfort, a strong seat, and a perfect fit. Maximizing performance for you and your horse through coordinated movement, a secure and balanced seat, free range of motion, just as nature intended. Clinton Anderson combines the perfect combination of Aussie and American saddle making. Clinton Anderson Aussie Saddle, made exclusively for Downunder Horsemanship. Call or click to order today, or shop our store at a Clinton Anderson tour event near you.
Downunder Horsemanship's Australian Outback Adventure is brought to you by Ritchie Industries. Fresh water for life. For the Aboriginal, kangaroo has been a staple in their diet for thousands of years. They cook them in a pit directly on the wood. Instead of skinning the kangaroo, they singe the hair on the roo, like parboiling ribs. Kangaroos are a plentiful and great source of protein. As with many cultures, there are interesting delicacies.
Righto, Junior, get these guys. What do we need to do here, mate?
Get these couple of kangaroos out of this fly pit and onto the leaves.
Righto, this is kangaroo barbecuing in an Outback.
The kangaroo's always formed an important part of the Aboriginal person's diet. Generally, the man that speared the kangaroo, it was his kangaroo. So he might cook the kangaroo himself, or he might, say who's going to cook the kangaroo, and every part of the kangaroo would be eaten.
So what are they doing now, breaking these branches off?
Breaking these branches to whack the kangaroo, to get all the
coals off.
Ashes and coals off.
Ah, okay. Righto. Important to be hygienic in the Outback. Righto. So what are they talking about now, Junior?
A lot of coals have burnt some of the meat.
Okay.
But it's all okay.
Okay. So a little bit overdone, just a spradging. Okay. So, what's he doing now?
He has to cut it the right way now.
Well, what's the wrong way?
The wrong way is which way he doesn't do it. So this is the right way now.
Ask a stupid question, get a stupid answer. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So now he's cut, almost looks like a leg of lamb a little bit. What's he doing now, Junior?
He's getting the blood out to drink. When it's hot, it's better.
It is?
Yep.
Cool. What's the whole thing about drinking the blood, mate?
So it keeps us from getting sick. It makes us stronger.
Okay. Kind of like Outback Viagra, is that what it is?
No, not Viagra.
Not Viagra? Righto. Righto, Junior, show me how it's done, mate. No, don't give me any. I'm about to throw up all over myself. Okay, that's good.
Lovely.
Lovely. Looks just like red wine. We're looking good. I really am going to pass on that one. As good as it looks, I'm just going to have to pass on that one, and I'll let you have it all, mate. I want to be a gracious guest. So what's he doing here, Junior?
He's cutting through the bone now.
Right. So that's the part you like?
Yep, the kidney. You don't want any of this?
No, I'm good, mate. I got to tell you, I've had all the kangaroo kidney a man can have in one day. I'm doing good. Really am. Top of my game.
That's Australian best meat.
It is the best meat in Australia?
Yep.
It's better than McDonald's?
Way better.
Back before you had knives, how would traditional Aboriginals cut that up?
With stone.
With the stone,
yep,
right?
The art of tool making, particularly weapon making, was a really important skill. So these people, only 150 years ago, were really back in the Stone Age. So there was no steel whatsoever. There were no metal weapons in Australia. The tools were stone. They chipped stone away, formed stone into axe heads and spear heads, and moulded them onto sticks made of the mulga trees and spear wood, which would grow in the caves in these areas. And they made their own weapons that were disposable, so they might use a weapon once or twice, have success with it, and then move on.
So how many people, Junior, would this typically feed? Like how many people in a family, or how many people would?
5 families.
5 families?
Yep.
For one meal?
Well, back in the days, they didn't have refrigerators.
Yeah. David, how did you kill this kangaroo, mate?
With the spear.
With the spear? So where are the brain? That's the brain.
Matter, you want some?
No, you can have it. I'll leave it all up to you. So that's the best part?
For me it is, yeah.
Right.
You got more of that blood to wash it down with?
Clinton learned that until 150 years ago, the Aboriginals made all of their tools from stone.
All through this country, when you walk around or travel around, you'll quite often find the remains of some big camp that might have been there a few hundred years ago or even longer than that, sometimes dating back thousands of years in that same area. And what gives us an indication that these were big camps is these big flat rocks that you find on the ground. They're big grinding stones. And you can see where the old Aboriginal women and the men have ground grass seeds and anything else that needed grinding over that period of time. These big flat rocks are left exactly where they've been for thousands of years, perhaps never been moved. The only thing that was carried was the handpiece, which the old ladies liked to carry a specific handpiece, which they would use because it would fit their hands. And that was usually a rock that might have been flat with a couple of concave surfaces on it. When the old Aboriginal people travelled this country, they had no way of carrying those rocks, so these rocks were placed in specific areas, perhaps not placed at that time, but over thousands of years, from generation to generation, these Aboriginal people would know, if we go back there, we'll be able to find grinding stones there, and in that area there'll be plenty of grass seeds to grind, or there might be the narcotic which they call pitchery, which is a wild tobacco that they ground up.
So today I thought would be a great day to give Bundy his first bath. This is going to be a new experience for him. It's another way to desensitize a young colt or wild Brumby or Mustang to something else. Remember, horses hate objects that move and what? Make a noise. So getting a bath would be all of that. It's a noise, the water coming out of the hose, it's a movement, it's something different for him, etc. So let's go ahead and turn the water on, please. So the best place to give a horse a bath, whether it's a young weanling colt or yearling or 2-year-old or older horse, is in a little bit of an open area like this. Don't put them in a wash rack. Don't tie them up to the fence where they feel trapped and claustrophobic. I want Bundy to feel comfortable. If he wants to move his feet, he can still move his feet around. So what I'm gonna do to start out with, I'm just gonna desensitize the airspace around him first. So he's gonna be a little suspicious of this. So instead of trying to touch him with it, I always tell people, desensitize the air before you touch the horse. If you can't touch the air, you can't touch the horse. So step one is just get him used to this moving around him. Now, if he would go to back up or move in a circle, I just keep following him. Just like we do with the plastic bag or stick and string, we never take the pressure away until the horse stands still and relaxes. Now I'll retreat and approach again. Okay, now he's pretty comfortable with that. I'm gonna start spraying it on his withers and back. I wanna start with the least sensitive part of his body, which is his withers and back. Okay, so far he's doing pretty good here. Biggest thing is when they move around, like he's getting a little nervous and wanting to move, go with him. Withers and back, hindquarters, do the top line first. This is a whole new experience for him. He's been rained on, not a lot out here when they get 6 inches of rainfall a year, but this is a new experience for him. So when he wants to move around like this, see how it's on his neck and he's wanting to move? I just stay right here. I just keep following him. Now when he keeps his feet still and he relaxes like right there, I'm gonna retreat and take the water away. Approach, okay, and retreat. Now I'm not gonna worry about his head today. I don't do the head until the body is really good. Get the body good first. So now I'll start to do his back legs. Stay up here at a 45-degree angle to his shoulder in case he go to kick at this, okay? You see a little bit of swelling under his belly right there. It's a little edema. You know, it's not uncommon when you first start riding a horse for them to swell up from the girth a little bit, okay? It's not a big deal. It's a long way from his heart. He'll survive. But it's basically like a little bit of bruising under the skin from the girth, okay? He's never had a girth around his belly. Some horses get it, most don't, but it's not a big deal, okay? So I'll stay away from his head for right now and just do the rest of his body. I'll show you how we do his head later. There we go. Okay, let's do the other side. Withers and back. So again, if he wants to move, the biggest secret is go with him. Don't take the pressure away when he's moving his feet. Horses learn from the release of pressure, don't they? Not the pressure itself. So if he moves right now and I take the water away, I am teaching him to run away from the water. A lot of people want to make a mistake and introduce water to a young horse in the wash rack, okay, or tie him up to a fence. All you do is make him feel trapped and claustrophobic by doing that. Give them a nice big open area where you can still contain them and keep them in a circle if they go to move, but they don't feel trapped. Neck, like right here. If he wants to back up, just follow him. Do not try to stop him from moving, just follow him. You want to make sure you get a long enough hose. So in a couple of days, we can introduce water to his face. Don't worry about the face until you've got the body really good. Another little tip is introduce the water, hose your horse off after you've got done with a really good long workout, okay? Do it when he's already tired, he's wanting to stand still. He's looking for a place to rest. Good boy. I bet you got a lot of dirt on you for a few years, don't you, big fella? Right, we'll shut the water off. Good boy. Not bad. Again, if they move around, follow them, wait till their feet stop moving, and they relax and then retreat. Good boy, Bundy.
Downunder Horsemanship's Australian Outback Adventure has been brought to you by Ritchie Industries. Fresh water for life.
It's real important to get these colts moved out. Get them just kind of following their nose. Big old dirt, sandy road like this is brilliant for him. Come on, move forward. A lot of people don't realize when you're riding your horses out in the trail, if you use the natural terrain to help you, you can teach them so much more than what you can in the actual arena. So what I'm going to start doing here is just using these bushes and shrubs and trees and so forth to help steer him.
Right up next.
Here, give me that knife for a second. Here, Scott, come on, me. I'll try a bit of this now myself. Oh,
Colin, come right up close so the camera can get you all.
Here, you're
okay. Quiet.
That's a tiny little tweet.
Shut up.
You look like a
Not eating at that. I'm not eating at that.
Grab them up and just have a little nibble off it.
No, I'm not doing it.
You got any more of that blood to wash it down with?